My name is Sabrina Liam. I've been married to Jason for 7 years and we have one elementary school-aged daughter. I never thought it was possible to love someone so much that it wouldn't hurt to look at them. But now that I'm a mother, I realize it's true. However, as soon as it was revealed that our first child was a girl, Amelie, my mother-in-law, immediately demanded we have another one. Girls aren't acceptable. That being said, Jason's family is from a long line of office workers and there's nothing to inherit, so it's not necessary to emphasize having a boy to that extent. Why don't you have a second child? That's what I'm told every time we visit the in-laws. I'm leaving it up to nature, I would reply. If you leave it up to nature, it won't work. You have to have a boy, Amelie would retort. Even though I'm told that Jason became uncooperative with making another child once we had one, even when I told him what she was saying, all he said was, "Just ignore her, she'll give up eventually." After about 2 years of marriage, the topic of living with Amelie came up, and although I felt uneasy, I accepted it. Even though she wouldn't show any love to her granddaughter as expected, I was blamed every day for something regarding the child. "You still couldn't do it this month? You're a useless wife. Why can't you have children? Don't you have any intention of having them?" I can't possibly say that Jason isn't doing his part. It was around this time that I started to get fed up with being the only one attacked every day. And then Amelie said something unbelievable. "Jason is going to remarry with Anaya." Remarrying with Anaya? Who's that? Haven't you heard it from Jason? No, she's Jason's mistress. Jason was busy playing games on his phone and didn't seem to be paying any attention to our conversation. I looked at Amelie again. Is she senile? As I was pondering, Amelie shouted, "That's why you should leave right away." But Amelie, Jason hasn't said anything about that though. So even if you tell me to leave, annoyed, Amelie called Jason over and forced him to join the conversation. Even if I make him participate, there's no way he has a mistress, I thought. However, Jason said, "Oh, about Anaya. Yeah, I'm going to remarry with her and divorce you." It's like saying, "Let's stop buying radishes and buy potatoes instead." What do you mean? What do I mean? What do I mean? Hurry up and move out, my new deal is coming. You explain yourself, but haven't you heard what Mom said? My new wife is coming, so you're saying you cheated? It's not cheating, yeah, I'm serious. When did you even meet someone like that? Isn't that betrayal? That can't be helped since you won't have a child. So, because I won't have a child, you cheated? And have you known about it, Amelie? Yes, yeah, I did. That's why I've been telling you forever to have a boy. But you keep saying to leave it up to nature, and this is what happens. Here are the divorce papers. Sign them and submit them. Jason had them prepared in advance, apparently, and he took out the divorce papers from the drawer, placed them on the table, and went back to looking at his phone. How can you be playing games on your phone at a time like this? It's not that big of a deal, it's just signing divorce papers. Why is it so hard for you to understand? Amelie keeps saying it's all about having children, but you don't even try to make one. Even if you say we need a boy, with your lack of cooperation in making one, we'll never have a child. Though, are you blaming Jason? Isn't it your fault? Why am I at fault? It's always the wife's fault if the husband isn't in the mood. That's how it goes, huh? What's that supposed to mean? That's why I was against this marriage. Besides, you're too old. When you said you wanted to get married, you were 28. I was worried that you were too old to have children. And as expected, we did have a child. We have a daughter, but that's not enough, is it? Girls eventually marry off. They are useless. People don't have children just to be useful. Well, aren't you cheeky? You know, as you get older, being cheeky just isn't cute anymore. That's terrible. I've always listened to what Jason said. I came here without opposing to keep peace in the family. You know, that's what's boring about you. Well, you know, no matter how much I hate it, I just have to say, "Yes, dear," and listen obediently. That kind of thing is just boring. You know, when it comes to that, my girlfriend, she's got her own opinions, you know. I think that's what's good about her. What's going on? Accepting living with Amelie, not opposing anything she says, all for the sake of Jason, is that boring to him? And the way things are going, we won't be able to have a boy, right? I don't have any expectations for you anymore. I mean, you're 35 already. No matter how hard you try, it's impossible. Besides, even Jason would prefer a younger woman, right, Amelie? Amelie said that as if she were mocking me, and I remembered. I've been enduring being looked down upon like this by Amelie ever since I got married. Being told I'm a bad daughter-in-law compared to the neighbor's daughters-in-law. Being criticized for my cooking, being awkward when my kid made noise. I got scolded for not being able to discipline her despite my age. Even when I asked Jason for help, he never sided with me. What was the point of enduring all this for 7 years? And to top it off, Jason's affair. When did the affair start? And who is this Anaya person? Since when? Let's see, it's been about a year since we got married. Wait, 6 years ago. That's around the time I gave birth. Well, as Mom said, younger women's skin is better. So how much worse can it get? Where did you meet her? Oh, it was through Mom's introduction. Huh, Amelie? Yeah, she used to work part-time at a store I frequented, and I thought she'd be just right for Jason, so I approached her. Does that person know you're married? Oh yeah, she knows. But she's saying she's fine with it if I get divorced. She was having an affair knowing you were married? How old is she? You're so interested. But you're the loser here, so why does it matter? See, my husband was taken away. Don't I have the right to know? Fine, she's 10 years younger than you. Aren't you cheeky? That's why she'll probably give birth to healthy babies. So, did Amelie encourage the affair with that person just to have babies? Well, after giving birth, they can just live together as parent and child. I'm not thinking it's just about having babies. As proof, I'm telling you to leave because you can't give birth. That's just what the younger one wants, to get married too. All you have to do is leave. Come on, hurry up and write it. I was urged to write the divorce papers. I couldn't think anymore as they kept telling me to hurry up. At that moment, I saw my daughter with an anxious expression in the corner of my eye standing at the entrance of the room. She was quietly watching us. My daughter's watching. Oh, it's not good to talk about this in front of a kid. Let's talk about it another day. Oh, it's fine. It saves you the trouble of explaining to her. Besides, if you divorce, she has to understand her parents' divorce sooner or later. That's it. It'll hurt her, won't it? It's okay. This kind of thing happens in every household. Parents' divorce is normal nowadays. I inadvertently stared at Jason's face. What are you saying? You don't care about our kid? Thinking that, I began to feel foolish for clinging to being with such people. Then another part of me appeared, saying, just write it and break up already. And I picked up a pen and signed the divorce papers. Here, I've signed it. Is this okay? Saying that and throwing the pen aside, Amelie took the divorce papers and looked at them closely. Yeah, this is fine. Now please leave. You're divorced, so it's weird to stay in the same house, right? Even a new wife wouldn't like that, so please leave. It's too soon to say that. Well, we want you to leave as soon as possible, but I have a kid. It's not that easy. Oh my. I thought signing meant you were prepared for something like that, yet you seem completely unprepared. Well then, you have a week to get out. Mom, you're okay with that, right? Well, I guess there's no helping it. As soon as I signed, it felt like I was erasing the past 7 years with an eraser. I felt a chill as I led my daughter by the hand into the bedroom. So then, Jason, humming a tune, stormed out of the house as if he was off to see another woman. Amelie, apparently deciding to follow suit, left immediately afterward, and I heard the sound of the front door closing. In an instant, the once lively house fell silent, with only the hum of the refrigerator motor, which seemed oddly cold. My daughter clung to me, crying. It's okay, there's nothing to worry about. We're not going to end things like this. Yes, we'll start everything anew from here, I reassured myself. Within a week, I had finished packing and arranged for a truck. There were piles of cardboard boxes stacked up in the foyer. Upon seeing them, Jason and Amelie seemed delighted. So, you're finally leaving? Well, it took quite a while, and there are so many cardboard boxes. I hope you're not planning to take the appliances with you. Can't you see, not a single appliance is missing? Well, that's annoying. I guess it's better safe than sorry. Since there are also our daughter's things, it's understandable. It just shows how much money I've spent on them all these years. You've been so wasteful. That's true. I wasted money on people who were of no use. I won't be sending any forgotten items back, so don't even ask. I'll be fine. Well, that's good. This will make the house feel more spacious. I was feeling suffocated before. As the truck arrived, we loaded the belongings. The two of them sat on the living room sofa. Amelie turned on the TV, and even when I asked Jason for help, he was glued to his phone, playing games. What kind of people are they? Even at the very end, saying goodbye to their precious daughter or granddaughter, they maintain this cold attitude. There was a slight pang in my heart, but thanks to this, even that feeling disappeared. With everything now over and a new beginning ahead, I felt refreshed. As for my daughter, she watched me instructing the movers while clutching her stuffed animal. her face still betraying her anxiety, tears welling up in her eyes. It's okay, there's nothing to worry about. With that thought in mind, I gently stroked her head. Once all the luggage was loaded onto the truck, Jason and Amelie came to the front door. Is it done? Yes, it's finished. We're finally leaving. Huh, now I can invite her over. Yes, finally. Thank you for everything. Yeah, just hurry up and leave. Since this is our farewell and considering everything that's happened, could you escort us to the truck? Why should we do that? We've been a family for 7 years, so I think it's only right. It's our way of saying goodbye. Goodness, you're so formal about this strange thing. Just leaving is enough for us. Yes, that's why I'm asking for your help to the truck. I have no sentimental attachment either. Mom, it's fine, that's it. Oh, really? Well, if Jay says so, then I guess it can't be helped. With that, Amelie slipped on the sandals by the entrance and headed outside. Following suit, Jason put on the remaining pair of sandals and stepped out. I took my daughter's hand and together we stepped outside the front door, giving a formal nod to the movers. Then the movers said, "Sir, please get in." Why should I get in? It's fine, Mom, please get in too. Wait, why should I get in? You need to get in. Once you're in, you'll understand. Wait a minute, I don't want to. What should we do? The movers pushed them both onto the truck. Though they resisted, they realized that making a scene would attract the neighbors, concerned about their reputation. They reluctantly boarded the truck. Jason, what is this? I have no idea, but causing a scene now would just be embarrassing. Let's just get on for now and figure it out later. That's true. It'll be fine if you can come back later. I said that, then closed the truck door and let my daughter wave to them. The mover nodded, started the engine, and began driving the truck. My daughter looked puzzled as she watched the truck drive away, but I smiled at her and said, "How about we have a snack?" Once inside the house, I laid out some snacks I had bought to calm my daughter down. It was a smart cake, not fitting for the occasion. While eating the cake, I told my daughter that her father and grandmother had moved out. She must have thought she was going to leave this house too. She was surprised by the sudden turn of events, but I reassured her that everything was going to be okay. Then her smile returned. It seems she didn't feel sad about getting rid of her overbearing father and cold grandmother. Even at her young age, she seemed to understand who was at fault. About an hour later, just as I had expected, I received a call from Jason. Hey, what's going on? Oh, have you arrived already? Yes, I have, but isn't this her apartment? Yes, it is. Since she wanted to live together, I sent you over to her place. You should be grateful. Grateful like hell I am. And how the hell do you even know about this place? It's simple. You can find out with a detective. A detective? Yes, I needed the address to send you away. You're the one leaving. I never said I was leaving. From today on, you'll be living there with her. It's great. You get to live with her so soon. What are you kidding me? I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious. Why the hell my home is there? That's right. That is our home. What the hell are you doing messing around like this? It seemed like she was using a speakerphone and Amelie's voice was also audible, which was irritating. No, you're mistaken. This house is my home. You're kidding. It's you. Who's acting ridiculous, isn't it? Introducing a woman to my husband and encouraging adultery. It's amazing you could pull off such a stupid thing. I'm not talking about that right now. Didn't I tell you to leave? When you get divorced, so it's obvious that it's you, the ex-wife, who will leave. Could it be that you haven't been told anything? What do you mean? I haven't been told anything, Amelie. Why are you shouting here? You're disturbing the neighbors. Shut up. The movers unloaded everything from the truck and piled up boxes in front of the apartment. If we leave it like this, all your stuff will get wet from the dew. If you don't want that, then come here soon. I don't think I need to go, since everything in those boxes belongs to you guys. What did you say? That can't be true. Amelie continued to hysterically scream. Amelie, it's embarrassing. From now on, if you're going to live there, the neighbors will think a crazy old lady has moved in. Who are you talking about anyway? Please live there from today. We're strangers to each other now. No, we're leaving. We'll kick you out of that house. You can't do that. If you enter the house without permission, I'll sue you for trespassing. What a woman. You're the crazy one, Jason. Can confirm this? Why don't you ask him? What are you talking about? It's about whose house this is. There's no need to ask. Jason said he bought the house after he got married. Even though it was used, it was clean enough, so I moved in with him. Oh my, what a big lie. But someone comfortable lying even when having an affair would certainly tell such lies, right? What do you mean? Well, actually, this house was built by my parents before I got married. My parents passed away and I was living alone. But when I said I didn't want to leave my childhood home when getting married, Jason said, "Then let's live here after getting married." When Jason said you would live with us, I thought it was okay since it's a spacious house. Lies. Jason said he bought the house used and that's why we decided to live together. Amelie, think about it. How could Jason afford such a big house with his salary and moving in right after marriage? Even paying for the wedding was a stretch for him. But so this house is mine. You have no right to claim it. Why are you asked Jason. Jason, what's going on? From the phone, trembling, Amelie's voice could be heard. But Jason seemed to be playing games as usual, pretending not to hear. Jason, stop playing games and answer. When it's inconvenient, Jason tends to ignore it. Seems quite inconvenient now that his lies are exposed. Jason, say something. Are you just going to let her make a fool out of you? Fine. As Jason's faint voice came through, it seemed like it was now him speaking instead of Amelie. Sure, it was your parents' house, but I'm the one living here now, so it's mine. Like a child's opinion, you could live here because of our marital relationship, right? That's why I allowed you to live here. Amelie said, her voice cracking. It's the same for your mother, isn't it? Well, that's true, but even so, you lied about buying it yourself. Even if you say that, it doesn't become yours. The ownership of this house belongs entirely to me. But if we divorce, we'll split the assets, won't we? That's true, it's never been mentioned until now. But you see, I inherited this house before marrying you. Even if I inherited it after marriage, it's still my inheritance, which means it's not shared property. Too bad. So there's no need to split it. That's a lie. If you think it's a lie, why don't you investigate? I'm just stating what I heard from the lawyer. Upon hearing Jason's skeptical voice, Amelie seemed to think she would lose if she continued. So she spoke up again. But what about appliances and furniture? There are things to split, right? Typically, yes, but all the appliances and furniture in our house were used by both parents. Of course, some things were bought new, like that $1.30 toaster. Do you want it? Shall we give you $1.15? Or do you want to give me $1.15 and take the worn-out one? I don't want it, said Jason, exasperated. Oh, the junk Jason brought when we got married is packed in boxes, and all your stuff is also in boxes. Originally, most of them were going to be thrown away. But since you do seem to cherish things, I didn't want to hear complaints about throwing them away, so I packed everything to ease your mind. So that's how it is. Thanks to that, the moving costs were no joke. It was quite expensive. But since all the appliances are mine, it's a good thing the moving costs weren't there. That's why the movers charged so much. That amount was expensive indeed. I was surprised when I saw the estimate, but since it's money I don't need to pay, I didn't mind. But there's still so much. Oh yes, most of them were practically garbage, torn socks, worn-out sneakers, and raggedy t-shirts. You should have just thrown those things away. Well, when I asked if I should throw them away, what did you say? What a waste. You said that, didn't you? You shouldn't just throw things away like that. That's what you said, right? And yet, you never wore any of them and kept buying yourself things. So I couldn't bring myself to throw them away. Any complaints about that? And now you're telling me to live in this cramped apartment. I can't say whether it's cramped or not, but you wanted to live with her, didn't you? Isn't that great with all this stuff? It's impossible to live in an apartment. Well, that can't be helped, can it? You and Amelie are the ones who got involved in an affair. Hey, come on now, that's just cruel. The divorce went through, so I have nothing to do with it anymore. And this isn't the end? There's more to come, so be prepared. Huh? What do you mean there's more? Jason and Amelie were surprised by my words. But I laughed and hung up the phone. Later on, I received a frantic call from Jason. It seems he's being scolded by his mistress. What's the meaning of this? I didn't agree to you coming over suddenly. I didn't expect things to turn out like this either. She just dumped out our stuff and us here. Then take them back, I said. It's a lot of stuff. It's not that easy. I didn't ask for this. When your ex-wife moved out, we were supposed to live in your spacious house. Sure, but it's not that simple anymore. Why not? That house is your house, isn't it? Can't you just reclaim it? Well, you see, it's in my ex-wife's name. What? But you said it was in your name? It is, but there are some complications. I thought if we were divorcing, she should at least have the house, to be fair. This is ridiculous. What about me? How am I supposed to live in this cramped space? And look at all these cardboard boxes we have. Yeah, well, that's how it is. Then buy a house. If that's not possible, then rent a spacious apartment right away with your salary. Well, then that might be difficult. You're so annoying. It's no use making such a racket in this tiny apartment. Since it's come to this, we have no choice but to live here. What? What are you talking about? Are you seriously considering living here? Then you should pay 2/3 of the rent. Why would I do that? Of course, you brought your mother along without even being married yet. And now you're saying you'll live here together. It's ridiculous. If we're living together, you should pay rent for each person. And also food and utility expenses. We should split those too. Why are you so cunning? I'm cunning. You're the one trying to live here without paying anything. Most of these boxes are yours, right? I don't even know what's inside, but do you need this much stuff? There might even be stuff in here that's unnecessary. I almost want to charge you for the storage space these boxes are taking up. They're taking up almost all the space. I can't believe you'd say something like that. Marriage hasn't even happened yet, and we're already in a battle between wife and mother-in-law. I don't even want to go back to the apartment anymore. Oh? Doesn't sound like fun. Don't joke. My mom says she doesn't want to live with a woman like Anaya, and Anaya says she'll never accept her mom as her mother-in-law. It's so difficult that the neighbors are complaining about the noise. I thought that would happen. I've almost lost my temper living with that girl, but I endured it for Jason's sake. But why should you have to endure it when you're not even married yet? And on top of that, there's alimony from you. What do you mean, alimony? And child support, too. We divorced because of your affair. It's only natural to ask for alimony. And since I'll be raising your child, it's only natural to ask for child support, too. There's no way I can afford that. If I pay that, I won't even be able to move out. Then don't pay. In that case, I'll have to hire a lawyer. But if I do, be prepared for it to get even more expensive. The lawyer I'll hire is quite skilled, and I think I'll also bill you for the lawyer's fees. Why? Because the lawyer is skilled, that's why? Please don't make such demands from behind. Jason, who spoke in a tone akin to a complaint, became drowned out by the shouting voices of his mistress and Amelie. After that, he never paid the alimony or child support. Realizing this wouldn't work, I eventually decided to hire a lawyer. The lawyer, as reputed, demanded a lump sum alimony and secured a promise to pay child support every month. But Jason was irresponsible. He even thought about not paying, so I added a condition that if he didn't pay for even 1 month, his salary would be garnished. Of course, I also demanded compensation from his mistress and ordered her to pay it all at once. Then, his mistress seemed furious, wondering why she had to pay such a thing, and another battle erupted. Anaya blamed Amelie for being the one to initiate contact, but in contrast, Amelie thought Anaya was the one to be blamed. Knowing Jason was married, she chose to be his mistress. Finally, the mistress, unable to tolerate being with such an old hag any longer, thrust a demand for compensation onto Jason and expelled both of them. The two who were kicked out seemed to have stayed at a gaming cafe for a while, but Amelie kept saying that this wasn't doing the trick for their fatigue, so they somehow managed to contract a cheap apartment. However, it turned out to be a rather cold room with a cemetery next door. But then again, it's easy for you to say that since you don't live there. While Amelie, who spends all day in the apartment, kept complaining about feeling queasy, he seemed to have tried to appease Amelie by saying she could sleep in a bed. But apparently her mood swings were abnormal. And even when he came home tired, there was no room for relaxation. Under such circumstances, it was impossible to maintain a normal mental state, and eventually, Jason also suffered from a mental illness. He's now depressed and unable to work or go outside. It's tough not getting child support, but considering how he neglected me and our daughter, I hope he suffers as much as possible. On the other hand, with Jason and Amelie gone from the house, my daughter and I are living peacefully together. Our lives are not threatened by anyone and are filled with peace and happiness. I'm praising the decision to divorce. Thanks for watching. How did you find the story? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more awesome stories like this. Your feedback and support mean a lot.